And as soon as the 10 seconds are up, pow, it drops a block of coal. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to our Direwolf 20 1.10 Let's Play series. So, since last episode, I've been fairly busy sorting things out and everything. I did build out this area now that I have flight, which is wonderful. So, this is the way this building looks. It's a little bit brighter of a color. I actually quite like it myself, but... and then I also built a third floor onto our AE area. So if we pop over here, you'll notice that I did expand the controllers out a little bit. That's mainly just to get them to connect up there right now. We're actually going to build out the structure eventually. Also, I added a interface terminal so that we can easily access all of our interfaces and pull patterns in and out from this. You'll notice I went ahead and made patterns for a lot of the applied energistic stuff. Pretty much everything except for our advanced cabling, which we're going to get into that on camera in the very near future, because I'm going to really need it to continue expanding out the AE system. And if I wait too long, I'm going to have to replace a lot of work when it comes down to that time. Also, I set up drawers over here for everything that's pulling in from our tree farm. And then upstairs... And I apologize, I've got a little bit of a cough today. I expanded this out. I did go ahead and upgrade these to 16Ks. The 4K, I don't care personally for it. And since we have auto crafting in place, creating 16Ks and even 64Ks is not really an issue anymore. I did teach it how to make all the way up to 64K. And then I've just got crafting co-processing units on these. So basically we have 3 of them, and they're just single lines like that. And honestly, I think that's going to be plenty for our purposes. So, and then this is just one of my molecular assembler towers. Basically, it's 4 molecular assemblers with an interface in the middle. That's how I like building it out, personally. And then over here, I did pull up a lot of the farms and stuff, the cactus and the sugarcane, because I'm getting ready to go ahead and set those up elsewhere and start kind of cleaning this room up. And, you know, because we were living in here, this was like our all-purpose room for a long time, and it's going to be basically just power storage once it's all said and done. And those little lava generators at the bottom, that's partially for decoration and then partially for a little bit of power generation as well. So anyway, today I do want to go ahead and start Botania, because Botania is one of those mods, if I wait too long to start it, it's going to feel really out of place, I think, you know, starting it down the road. So I want to go ahead and get started with that today. And the first thing that I want to make is going to be a flower pouch. And so we can make this with just wool, and then we're also going to need, okay, I just realized I'd never ever grabbed a Botania flower before. So anyways, and we'll break that down to a petal, and we're going to get our flower pouch. Now, realistically, we could do without this since we've got the AE system in place and all that. But I like having it personally. It just makes life a little bit easier. So now with this, whenever we break these mystical flowers, instead of them going into our inventory and filling that up and making a big mess, it's going to go into our flower pouch. So that way, you know, we don't have to worry about our inventory filling up from all the different colors, since there are 16 different colors of mystical flowers. And we can just kind of freely collect these for a bit. So give me a minute. I have a lot of flower collecting to go do, because there's some colors that we need. And generally, in my personal experience, finding the flowers, especially the ones that you actually need, which is like white and yellow and stuff like that, finding the ones that you're going to need to get started tend to be a little bit of a pain. Usually you're going to find a lot of colors that you don't need, like green. I've been finding a bunch of green. Purple is another color that you're going to find a lot of, and those really aren't colors that we need to get started. So give me just a bit here. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to want is going to be a petal apothecary. Hey, where did you come from? That gets us our petal apothecary, and then I'm going to want to get myself some seeds, of course. Let's go ahead and get a stack of those, and our bucket, which I forgot to put that in my tool box. So it's in the AE system. And we're just going to set up, for right now, we're going to set our Petal Apothecary like right. It's probably better to put it into the ground like this. It just works a little bit better because you can stand right above it, you know. So let's go ahead and let's throw some water in this. Why? Okay, there we go. And the first thing that we're going to want is going to be our Pure Daisy. So 4 white in the Petal Apothecary is going to get us that. So let's get 2, and let's go ahead and get 2 of them. So we'll go white, 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 seed, and there we go. So let's throw down our Pure Daisy. For right now, we'll put them like right out here. Yeah, right there. And then we'll go ahead and get some wood and some smooth stone. And we'll go ahead and lay this stuff out so we can start getting living rock and living wood. And the next thing that we're going to want is we're going to need some mana generation. Now they did remove the day blooms and the nightshades and all that stuff out of the mod entirely now. So we're going to go straight into Endoflames, just mystical brown, red, and light gray for each of those. So we'll get a few of these. Like I'm thinking 4 for now, just to start out with. That should be fine. Alright, and there is our 4 Endoflames. And we've got our first batch of living rock and living wood. So very, very nice. I'm going to keep these running for right now. We'll automate these before too terribly long. It won't be this episode. We will do a little bit of automation this episode for stuff that's a little bit more important to us to get started. But not quite yet on the living rock and living wood setups. So we'll get our mana pool, and then I also want to get a Wand of the Forest. So let's go with purple and black. We'll get our living wood twigs, lay them out, and then our petals. Looks good. And then we're going to need a little bit more living wood before we can make our mana spreaders and all that. But it looks like it's all changing over right now, which is great. Honestly, Botania was something I really didn't want to start until we had flight, just because going around and getting all those flowers was terrible. But let's go ahead. I want to say that mana spreaders, so we'll go ahead and get our very first mana spreader, and then let's go ahead and get ourselves some coal. I think I'm just going to use standard coal for now. That's fine. And I think for right now, we're just going to do our mana setup like right here. That's fine by me. So we'll put down our mana spreader. We're going to put our Endoflames just around it like so. And then we'll throw down our mana pool like right here. And let me make sure all of these are linked up. They are. That's wonderful. And that is hitting that. So we'll go ahead. We'll throw down a few blocks of coal to get those running. And there they go. And we've got our first bit of mana. Ha! Alright, next up what I want to do is I want to go ahead and tell our system how to make blocks of coal. Just so that we've got them. And then we'll throw it into our interface terminal. And then let's go ahead and tell this to always keep a stack of blocks of coal on hand. There we go. And I want to go ahead and automate the Endoflame so that we don't have to worry about sitting there and manually feeding it. So let me get a few things together here. And it's nothing actually all that expensive. We're going to need like a comparator and little things like that. It's a pretty basic setup. I just realized we never made a Lexica Botania either. So go ahead and make one of those just really, really quickly. Yeah, we'll just put it like right there. And it's a blue, blue, blue. I want to say we used that color for something because I had it in the AE system, but I don't remember what we actually used it for. But we're not using it anymore. That's the main thing. And then let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this down, and then our open crate on top of it. And then we'll put a hopper on top of that. Because a hopper, of course, if it gets a redstone signal, it's not going to send items out. And we'll go ahead and run some item conduits over from this chest into the hopper. So extract always active, and then, which will eventually refine this setup a bit more, but this is just a basic setup for it. We'll go ahead and throw down a comparator here to this mana pool. Alright, actually I'm making a slight adjustment to my original plan. We're still going to have the comparator pulling from the mana pool, so it's going to tell how full this is. So if we throw down some redstone right now it's a power level of 1. And that's because, of course, it's not very full at the moment. It's working its way up. And we're going to set another comparator like right here. And we'll put, say, a lever right there, just to show how this works. And some redstone coming out there. Now, we're going to set this one to subtractor mode. So you'll notice it subtracts the 1 power from this comparator. And creates a 14 power coming out of this one. So anything on the sides, it's going to subtract that from the outcome. So 15 going in, subtracts 1, becomes a 14 power. And then we've got our redstone coming out of here, and I want to create a NOT gate. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put a redstone torch onto this block of stone. And so this way, if this receives a signal, it's going to shut off that redstone torch and thus shut off the redstone signal. Otherwise, it's going to be running that redstone signal all the time. And we'll just attach our redstone conduit up like so, right above the torch. So now it's got redstone, and if we throw, say, a piece of our block of coal, one of our blocks of coal in here, it's not going to do anything with it. And that's, of course, because it's got a redstone signal. If that redstone signal was deactivated, however, like so, and we threw in 4 pieces, it's going to drop those pieces onto there. So, now what we need to do is let's get rid of this lever, because it's not going to be a lever, and I want to make a hovering hourglass from Botania. So, of course, to do this, we are going to have to get ourselves some mana steel and a couple pieces of mana glass. Not a major issue at all for us at the moment. And if I recall correctly, it's 1 minute for soul sand, right? Sand is 1 second, red sand is 10, and soul sand is 1 minute. So let's go ahead and we're going to go with, say, 2 pieces of soul sand. So we've got 2 minutes between redstone pulses from this hourglass. So we're going to add that in there just like that, and then let's throw in some blocks of coal. And I tell you what, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use 10 sand to start with, just to show you how this works. We are going to use like a 2-minute timer, because these blocks of coal tend to burn for, I want to say it's like 5 or 6 minutes. I may have to fine tune it after watching it for a little while, but I think that's about right. But if we watch this, it's going to run down, and as soon as the 10 seconds are up, pow, it drops a block of coal. And so that's basically what I want it to do, except on, of course, a higher interval. So about 2 minutes should be good. So that's what we're going to set it at, is just 2-minute time. And so now every 2 minutes it's going to drop 1 block of coal for us. And the reason we have this comparator and this subtractor mode comparator is because once this mana pool gets filled, like 14 or 15, whenever it goes to subtract from this, like say this is a 15 signal coming out of here, once this gets to a 15, it's going to subtract. It's not going to emit a signal once that mana pool is filled. So that way, we won't really waste any coal or whatnot with it. Now, if we wanted to, actually one thing we might do, just to make it a little bit better for us, is maybe bring this hourglass out to here, set it up there, and then we'll throw down some redstone like that. So now it's going to stop emitting, or stop, pulsing once it's at 14 out of 15. So that way we don't waste any coal. But it's probably going to hit a redstone power of 1 before too long. Or redstone power of 2. But anyway, that way our mana is automated, because that's one thing that I don't want to have to do. And then what we can do is to pretty much finish this up, so that at least we have it running. Now you could of course do this with charcoal or blocks of charcoal, or I believe blaze rods. Do we have blaze, what's it called, blaze lamps, right? We do have blaze lamps. Oh yeah, they're from Botania. Of course we have blaze lamps. We may end up using those instead. If you notice, there are 24,000 burn time. Once we get a blaze spawner in place, we may switch over to blaze lamps. Very, very possible. But then what we can do, if we want to, is we can just set up a our ender chest here. And this stuff, keep in mind, this is going to get moved. But just like the crafting and stuff got moved, it's just a work in progress. And then I want an export bus. And we'll put our export bus on there. And let me grab a block of coal as well. We'll throw this in the export bus so that it's going to get exported. And we'll throw that on there. So now if we take a look here, it's filling up that hopper for us. Later on, we'll fine-tune it a bit more so we don't have so much overstock. Right now, we're going to have a ton of overstock. But that's something I want to get farther into blood magic in order to do, in order to set that up and everything. I may end up adding like 4 more and maybe just doing like a 1-minute timer or something, like 40 seconds, something like that. We'll see. I got to play around with it. I'll let you guys know by next episode what I decide on, hopefully. But it's basically just comes down to fine-tuning the timing and everything. All that good stuff. And let me make sure that this is chunk loaded as well. Alright, the next thing that I want to do is get one of my favorite blocks. Yeah, see, it's a 2 power level now. I want to get one of my favorite blocks from Botania. To do that, we need 1 mana pearl and 3 mana steel. And I want to get, the Assembly Halo. Absolutely wonderful block. If you don't know what it does, basically it lets us craft on the fly, and we can save recipes to this. So when I'm out doing things, especially with Botania, I don't have a crafting table over there. I can just craft over there, no problem at all. And then let's go ahead and get our runic altar. Now to do this, of course, we are going to need another mana pearl. Actually I'm going to go with a diamond. Diamonds are a bit more, you can either do mana diamond or mana pearl, and honestly at this point ender pearls are a little bit harder for me to get than diamonds are. I've constantly got those quarries running, so that's not really an issue. And we'll go ahead and just set it up like so. Hey, I hate baby zombies. And let's go ahead and set up our runic altar like right here. I think that's good. And then let's get ourselves another mana spreader. And we'll put our mana spreader down and let's just bind it to our runic altar so that whenever we put the items on there that we need to make a rune, it's going to fill that up with mana. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to make our first runes to make our first bit of jewelry. Jewelry is, of course, one of the most wonderful things from Botania. Absolutely great. So the first thing, I'm going to want a rune of air. And we're going to need some mana powder, mana steel, carpet feather, and string. That seems to work out perfectly because all 4 of these were running. And then right as that timer came around, one of them stopped and it kicked it out. So it seems like 2 minutes. Seems to do pretty well. But anyway, we'll throw our feather, our carpet, our string down. And then we're going to need to get our mana powder and our mana steel. And we'll throw one of these down. And one of those. And that's going to start it running. And you'll notice that that little circle over there is going to fill up. And then we'll throw down our living rock on top of it and smack it with our wand. And that's going to get us 2 of those runes of air. Now the next rune I want is a rune of earth. So we're going to need 1 mana steel, 1 mana powder, a mushroom, a block of coal, and some stone. And I do apologize about all the blazes, noise. I'll do something about that by next episode, I promise. I'm planning on getting those moved fairly soon, so. And once again, throw that down, and there's our runes of earth. And it just so happens we've got cows around, so that's not a problem. Alright, so now we should be able to get our sash. There we go. And then the next thing that I want to grab, which I know the episode's about wrapping up point, so we're probably just about to be done. But I want to get a mana tablet, which takes a mana diamond. Alright. Alright, so here's our mana tablet. And the last thing that I'm going to want is going to be a band of mana. So we're going to have to make a rune of mana. Now this one, sadly this one only creates 1 at a time. But it's 5 mana steel and a mana pearl for that. And then what we can do is we can just craft our ring, 4 mana steel and our rune of mana. It's going to get us our band of aura. Actually, I may make 1 other ring, and I think I will, just to save inventory space. Most people, of course, get the ring of magnetization. I don't get that right out the gate usually, because my problem with the ring of magnetization is right now, with where my coal's automated and stuff, if I run by that, before I get Solignolias. That's what I was trying to think of. I kept wanting to call them Spectrolas. Before I get my Solignolias, of course, it's going to pull it off. And for me, ring of magnetization is not something that I feel like I need right this second. You know, I don't do any mining. You know, I don't do any of that. So I just don't feel like I need it right this second. So what we're going to make is we are going to make ourselves a Band of Mana. And what this does the same thing as the Mana Tablet. Basically, it just stores up mana. And Band of Aura generates mana just from you wearing it and moving around and doing things. So when the Band of Aura generates mana, it's going to go into the Band of Mana and store it. Or a Mana Tablet. If you would rather keep your ring slot open and use a Mana Tablet, you can do that. And of course, both of these are going to generate mana for use with our Sojourner Sash. Because this thing does require mana for it to run. However, the Band of Aura generates more than enough to allow you to use the Sojourner Sash. So, but you'll notice that we move a bit faster. We also jump higher, and we have Step Assist. So, very, very nice. And that speed increase does transfer over to your flight speed, which is another reason that I really, really wanted it. The nice thing about flight, of course, is that it doesn't really use up any of your saturation or your hunger, at least not very quickly, to the point that you're even going to notice it. So, the faster you fly, of course, the faster you can move around and not consume your hunger, so it's great. Like, I barely go through any bread once I get the Angel Ring, so definitely helps. Hey, buddy. I will take all the Ender Pearls. Oh, and Enderman heads, too. I'll take all of those that I can get my hands on. But anyways, I do believe that I'm going to end out the episode there. We will be automating our Pure Daisies before too long. We're also going to automate our Jaded Amaranthus. That's another flower that I want to get automated very, very soon. But anyways, I do believe I'm going to end the episode out here. Next episode, when we come back, I think what we're going to do next episode is work on power. Either Deep Resonance or I did have a request for the Immersive Engineering diesel engine as well. So it'll be one of those two that we'll work on next episode, and then probably before long we'll get back into Blood Magic, because I know there's some stuff I want to do in there. A lot of my item transfer, I really need to do Blood Magic for that, what I want to do with it, because of course we don't have precise item transfer and stuff like that. Either with translocators or precise item. Anyways, I'm going to quit rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And there may actually be, of course, this is coming out on Saturday. There might be a bonus video tomorrow. We'll see. If not, there might be one Monday. Because I want to try to get out an extra video for you guys. Because I know there's a lot I'm wanting to cover with this series right now and get into. Another thing I want to do very, very soon that we might possibly do is start getting into RF tools. Basically because I need this mountain gone. This is the main reason. I need this whole mountain gone, and I don't want to dig it up myself. I really, really don't. So we may get into RF tools before too long too, because I need that gone so I can build. But we'll see. But anyways, I hope you guys join me for next episode. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you then.